Hello everybody, my name's Ardendris, and welcome back to Sunless Sea. Last time, we ended off here at the Salt Lions, and let's just take a quick look at the map to start things off with. We didn't do much in the way of exploring last time. We started last time at Codex, and ended up making our way to Wither, where we completed a mission for the Admiralty. And then we just made our way south back to Fallen London, where we bought a house, or upgraded our current lodgings. We created a home for us, our lover, and our child, and we made a will. And we also unlocked the ability to retire, but we're not doing that quite yet. But anyways, yeah, we ended up getting our will and going through a couple of things there in Fallen London. And we ended up with a little bit of time left, so we went out and just explored a little bit to the south of Gatorsmorn. We ended up finding the Zeal ports on the northern Salt Lion. Apparently there is one further down to the salt as well. To the south, not the salt. As well. South, not salt. Making sure I got that right in the end. But anyways, we went through a little bit of story stuff here. We picked up a port report. If we had 20 units of cargo space, I have a feeling we could get paid pretty well for carrying these stones back to London. But I think we only have about 15 or so, yeah. We're a little overstocked. That's something we'll have to keep in mind, though. But we're going to continue exploring in this region a little bit more. Probably just immediately head south and see if we can't find that southern Salt Lion. Not actually going to take much time. We're just going to get right into it. Speed up and turn off the lights. Wow. We were that close and just didn't see it last time. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't see a port there. I was about to just go right in. Is this south or... Just almost ran ashore into a lion that doesn't have a port on it. That would have been silly. Let's send out the Z-Bat, see if they can't find anything for us. No islands within range. So, I guess we're going to... which part are we going to explore? Are we going to explore more in here or more in here? Let's explore this region, go out even further. So let's turn east. Turn east. Forgot my directions for a second there. Last time we also got into a couple of combats, which we did quite a bit better than I thought we might do. No, we're getting there. Our upgraded guns and our blue scintillac are like really useful in a fight. We're gonna go out a little ways and then fog. Hope we don't run into an enemy. There's a little circle of light here. I don't know if it's a dock or not. Let's turn on the light. No, it's just like this. Not a huge fan of that music just coming up all of a sudden. Oops, didn't mean to go into combat mode. Let's send out the Z-Bat again. Here we go. Visage is some distance to the south. We have a mission down here in Visage, so let's immediately just about face. Some very eerie music going on right now. Okay. We're in dangerous waters, it feels like. We're slowly running out of supplies. Oop. Which side is the port on? Should be like down here, I suppose? Well, that's not eerie at all. Visage. Before we actually pull into port, what was our mission in this area? I don't quite remember. Was it that? That's the Chapel of Lights. It's not in memoirs. Objective. Let's see. Mangrove College. Mangrove College. Is it the Father's Bones. Yes, it is. Okay. This is like main story objective that we're about to get into. Well, let's pull into port. Hopefully we'll be able to pick up some supplies while we're here. That is something down here too, it looks like. Or that might just be like some decoration under the water. We can spend secrets to improve stuff when we talk to captains. We know about that. Let's stock up. Hmm? Do we have to unpause first? Yes. There we go. Game's going a little choppy, a little bit of lag going on. I'm not sure if that's the game. I didn't notice in-game, but when I looked over at OBS, it's being a little finicky. Did it work itself out? I think so. Anyways, Visage, hide your face. Hide all your faces. This is the port of Visage, where faces may not be naked, except one. A stone monument the size of a village church, serenely gazing upwards, flourishing of years. Go ashore. Inward and upward. Once you set foot on Visage, you may be here for a little while. You can at least interview those who are leaving. Let's create our port report first. That will have to do. A departing merchant gives you a confused account of crocodiles and honeycakes and something about ear blockage. To this you add your own impressions about the street layout close to ports and the types of commerce here. When the lights are especially bright, it is possible to make out the details of the profile of that great stone face. Go ashore. This is going to take a little while, it seems like. Inward and upward. Terms. All those who enter must pay their parts. The sign is visible only after you've crossed the threshold. Ashore in Visage. On the lower slopes, stone buildings, flat roofs, archways. In the architecture there lingers a memory of lotus and palm frond. The hill above is a face, forever looking up at the ceiling of the Unterzee. No one inhabits its cheeks or the hollows of its eyes. We can check in at the customs house, or the assigner of corpses. One of these masked strangers is the assigner of corpses, if the gracious widow is to be believed. But which? Let's go to... Locked with Visage, your mask no more than 0. One may not wander Visage at will. Let's check in at the customs house before we go into main story stuff. A changing room. All visitors must pass, one by one, through a room guarded by a person in the mask of a moon moth. That's all for now. Masks in an assortment of shapes and colors await. Ask to go about without any mask. Your own fair face will do for you. Thank you very much. We can ask the significance of the mask. Maybe there's more to it than a question of aesthetic taste. Then we can use a frog, a locust, or a bat mask. It looks curious, it looks voracious, or it looks threatening. Let's ask about why these masks are so important. Assorted pestilences. Moon Moth explains, each mask declares a different intention towards the denizens of Visage, and must be accompanied by suitable behavior. The frog is for visitors who, though perhaps clumsy and unfamiliar with local etiquettes, have come in order to observe local ways and to make uncouth comments about them. The locust is for those who seek profit in Visage and would carry away as many goods as possible. You prompt about the bat. Moonmoth hesitates. Bat is an ill-omened visitor sent as a messenger or a spy. Bat always dies. Then we're not going to do bat. I don't feel like dying. I suppose we'll go with the frog? Unfamiliar with a... Not sure about the whole... I make uncouth comments about it. That's not really my intention. But locust sounds like a thief, and bat just sounds like a bad idea in general. So let's go with the frog, I suppose. Moon moth lifts the mask and places it over your head. The eye holes are large and they are fitted with spectacles. These improve your view of the environment, though you must look bull-eyed from the outside. There's also a mechanism attached to the mouthpiece, which signifies any sound you make, even your breathing, which magnifies. You start to thank the moon moth, and it comes out as a booming croak. May you profit from your visit and knowledge, says Moon Moth. Its wings fold neatly over its back. Your mask quality is now 2, frog mask. Your visage expertise in parts hasn't changed because it's lower than 3. A thing has happened, that's all it tells us about that one. What? Okay. So we can't actually leave yet. Okay, that's good to know. While we're here... Do we go right into our main mission, or do we take a look around the island first? Get to know our landscape. Let's visit the Library of Parts. Hold off on the main mission for just a little bit. So called because all the books are fragmentary, perhaps. Unlocked with Visage, your mask 1, and Visage, your mask no more than 3. Unlocked with Visage, expertise in parts no more than 2. Okay. Stoop at the lintel, enter the dark. A room of heavy stone, guarded by a golden statuette of a woman with outstretched arms. There are scroll niches sorted to correspond to a variety of masks. The jackal and the lioness, the crocodile and dung beetle. A woman in the mask of a lotus blossom is standing at a lectern, reading in silence. Okay, we're not stealing. That's gonna be a no-go. That was my immediately... Oh, red line, what is that? Oh, steal. Nope. Not very frog-like, but who cares? Okay, so if we'd done the... If we'd gone with the locust, maybe that would have been a better odds. Moon Moth stands to one side as your escort and tour guide. We can ask about the purpose of this room. What sort of parts are they, anyway? We can study the scrolls in a bumbling way. They look very old, after all. Or write notes in the margins. If your frog glove will hold a pen, that is. Let's ask the purpose. Filed under M for masked. Moonmoth explains, people think it means something like Library of Fragments, but this is wrong. The parts in question are like parts in a play. This is where the denizens of Visage come in order to learn how to perform their masks more accurately, more completely, with a truer spirit. Do we study the scroll in a bumbling way, or write in the margins? Writing in the margins is just some papers we find in their library. This seems a little disrespectful. I'm not stealing anything. That's, I think, out of the question, especially with how low odds it is. I suppose we'll do it in a bumbling way. Hearts guarded. Taking the nearest, you read it aloud. Or guarding against the loss of the heart. Moon Moth takes it from you, rolls it tightly, and returns it to the niche. There are as many ways of guarding against the loss of the heart as there are different masks. It explains in that same light and indifferent voice. You can go back there. Okay. I suppose we'll visit the flood court. The Moon Moth speaks as though you should already know what that is. High water. The flood court is a long stone room with 2 ranks of columns on each side. Currently the court is ankle deep in water, though water stains on the stone show that the flood has often reached higher, sometimes up to the height of your waist. In a raised niche at the far end of the room sits a statue of a man with the head of a ram. He holds a jar from which water flows out onto the floor. Ask about the purpose of this room. It doesn't really look as though it's good for anything. Depth per day. From a corner, Moonmoth picks up a graduated stick. He shows you how a person standing at the end of the room may dip the stick into the water and use it to measure the water level at a pre-selected point, and how the measurements are compared with measurements written on a calendar. If the water level does not match the calendrical position, an assembly of pipes and drains is used to adjust it. It used to be, says the moth, that the water rose and fell of its own accord, and the people before wrote down what height it reached. Now the water is still, but thanks to their actions, we can replicate the rise and fall so as to be pleasing to the god of flood. He completes this explanation with a half-body bow toward the statue of the ram deity. Can't try to steal because we have more than one expertise. We can't spy because we have more than one expertise. We can show oafish enthusiasm for this wonderful indoor pool. Frogs like pools, right? Or tastelessly compare this room to other bodies of water. Frogs know water. Is that what it meant by the uncouth comments when we were looking at the masks? I'm gonna trust that's what the description meant, and maybe this is the right answer? Let's go for it. I feel it's better than just, like, jumping in. Have you seen the Kumain Canal? Moonmoth watches inscrutably while you talk about other bodies of water that have impressed you more than this one. Deeper, clearer, colder, more densely populated with fish. Other denizens move away from you and towards one another. Your social function is well performed. Yay! Sometimes ignorance is freedom. Learning more will have complex effects. A knowledge of rules and how they are to be played. Okay. Let's go back to the flood court. I'm not oh, this is just all the same stuff again. I guess we'll just go through that. Okay, we gain another expertise in parts. Okay. Raid masks with the mooned moth. Let's see. End your performance and leave the island. We can do that whenever, but we have missions to do. Raid masks with the moon moth. It has been making subtle overtures for some time. You only now understand them. Before we do that, let's visit the Assigner of Corpses. I don't want to do something where we can't back out of it before we get our main mission done. So, one of these masked strangers is the Assigner of Corpses, if the Gracious Widow is to be believed. But which? Continue. Interrogate. What mask does the Assigner of Corpses wear? Interrogate the visitors. The visitors seem reluctant to discuss the matter, even with Frog. It is distasteful, or forbidden, or inconvenient, but surely someone will let something slip. Even with... Okay, so it's a good thing we went with Frog, I think? If we'd gone with something else, this wouldn't have gone well. The blankness of masks. A man in a crocodile mask trundles an ibis-masked corpse on a wheeled bier. Is this the Assigner of Corpses? He shakes his head. This corpse was assigned to the Fathom King, he explains. I go now to the hold. The Fathom King knows why. Was that a meaningful pause? If no one here will speak to you of the Assigner and his assignments, might the Fathom King know more? Find the Fathom King's hold to continue. Okay. So let's try trading masks. I already read through that little piece, didn't I? I think it's been making subtle overtures for some time. You only now understand them. Yeah, I already read that. It is keen to go. It draws you aside into a closet in the customs house. Had enough of visage. It tells you frankly, here, you take my mask and pretend to be me, and I'll trade in the visitor mask and get on some departing ship. Get my life back. Its face, no, nicey, her face, is aging but unlined. A lifetime of never needing to use facial expression. An occurrence, your visage, your mask quality is now 4, moth mask. An occurrence, your visage expertise and parts quality is now 4, aware of moth roll. Okay. So we have more options. Visit the house of the chief geometer. It's understood to be an honor. Visit the temple of Apis. All the denizens of Venice visage go there sooner or later. And visit the side of the face. The stone cheek, a flourishing of years, is visited as a pilgrimage by the inhabitants of Visage. And if you are in good favor, you too may go. Let's visit the chief geometer. Let's just go in order. Lines in wet ground. Each morning, the man in the cobra mask draws lines in the mud flat with a pointed steel rod. This apportions to each inhabitant a small trapezoidal area from which to harvest mushrooms and to scrape salt. No plot is ever preserved from one day to the next. This man is the chief geometer, the keeper of directions, master of land measures and sea measures. Now you have been invited to his home, at the time customarily appointed for him to receive those who are not his equal in rank, yet not so far beneath him as to deserve to be ignored. What ceremonial gift will you bring? Bring a string of rats. Cobras like to eat rodents, surely. Bring a necklet of lapis beads. If they do not suit him, they may suit a wife of his. If they don't suit her, he can use them for an offering. Bring a poem concerning snakes, copied on a new scroll. Bring a comb made of bone, perhaps he grows hair beneath his mask. Bring fresh candles, bring nothing, do not go. Hmm. Hmm. Wearing a moth mask right now. My immediate thought is a candle. I have no idea what to do with this. Do not go. It is necessary for him to offer, but incorrect for you to accept. Or bring nothing. It is imprudent for one of lesser rank to presume to show charity to a superior. The only thing that feels like moth is the candle, but we don't have candles. Box-fired candles at Mrs. Plenty's shipside provisioners. Ugh. That's back in fallen London. I feel like we're gonna mess up if we try something, because we can't leave yet right now because we have the moth mask. Let's do not go. We can't do the only option that feels right now, so might as well not do. It's necessary for him to offer, but incorrect for you to accept. We'll try this. We'll go look through some other stuff, and then come back to this. You sat at home in a quake when he sends a messenger to reprove you for your non-attendance. Is this also part of the dance? We'll try that again in a moment once we look through some of this other stuff. Visit the Temple of Apis. All the denizens of Visage go there sooner or later. The wounded god. In the center of the temple is a black bull with a white diamond in its face. It is tied in place with heavy ropes, and it is wounded in the thigh. From this wound, it bleeds copiously without dying. The priests gather around the bull, capturing its blood in cups. Ask whether the bull will be alright. It doesn't look well. Try to bandage the bull. It's a shame to see it suffering so. Offer to sell them a new undamaged bull? Collect some of the blood for yourself. Leave a respectable token of offering. Observe and make notes. Huh. I have no idea what the role of moth is. I have no idea what's the right thing now that we're wearing a different mask. I figured things out when we were a frog, but we didn't get that same little piece of info, or if we did, I skipped over it. Um, let's leave a respectful token of offering. Even wounded, it remains a god. Impeccable. The tokens are small and not very valuable, as suits your lower rank in the community. The priest arranged them on a table with other small items. As you go out, you pass by the more impressive gifts. Drafting tools from the chief geometer, scales from Jackal, a heap of foreign coin brought home by Crocodile. You've gained a one visage, expertise in parts, aware of Mothroll. So we're getting better at that. Let's visit the site of Face, and then we'll try again at the chief geometer. I might have an idea what we do there. Visit the site of the Face. The stone cheek of Flourishing of Years is visited by a pilgrimage by the inhabitants of Visage, and if you are in good favor, you too may go. At the proper time. You must, of course, wait until your work with this day's crop of frogs and locusts is complete. It would not be suitable to bring them along. Let's see. Oh, sorry, got distracted for a second. Study ancient marks. Many pictures match across the stone. Offer instruction to the frog that found its way up here. That's the sort of thing your moth would have done to you. Push a visiting bat off the stone chin. The visitor is wearing all black and keeps reaching up to scratch under its bat mask. Can't do that one. Deface it with new markings. This will get you kicked off the island, in all likelihood. Silently observe the attitude of the visiting lion. It is paying a obeisance face. Either the lion thing or the... I don't think I'm gonna go with the lion thing. Both that and the frog feel like they could be right. But I feel like the role of the moth is to sit quietly and observe. If you give a gift, give a small gift, or no gift at all. So let's observe the attitude of the visiting lion. That's what the moth felt like it did before. Service and worship. You contemplate the lion for some time. There is an arithmetic sequence to the count of bows that it performs. Bows, not bows. It performs to each feature, the eyes, the nose, each lip. It is hard to know whether lion is meant to be her worshipper or her lover. Perhaps the two functions are not very distinct. When at last the lion's bows are complete, it passes you with a slight snap of its masked jaws. It was rude of you to stand there watching. The moth watches visitors. It does not watch citizens. To do so has violated your the strictures of both of your roles. Okay, we did make a mistake there. Let's try that one again. But that was apparently wrong. Oh, that was apparently wrong. Okay, this is new. We can meditate on the meaning of the face. And offer instruction to the frog that found its way up here. Let's try it. It's only 30%. 36% chance of success, but hopefully it goes well. Creditable on both sides. You tell the frog a partially true story about how this face was carved. The frog replies with an amplified belch and a story it heard about the sphinxes known as the salt lions. It's really a very good frog. We are aware of higher rolls now. And we gained a couple of fragments. Oh, things have changed. Okay, we apparently messed up and didn't get to go back to the geometer's place, but oh well. Enter the hollow of the ear. It is a place of still greater pageantry. This is a journey of several steps, and may conclude your current visit. Okay. Okay. What mask does the assigner of corpses wear? Across the sea. If no one here will speak to you of the assigner and his assignments, might the Fathom King know more? Okay, I'm glad I did this because it gave us a little bit more information. Find the Fathom King's hold, somewhere in the south or central Unterzee, to continue. That's good, some good information. But let's enter the hollow of the ear. A proud nose. It is a festival day. The great stone face has been illuminated from forehead to chin with blazing torches, so that the profile is visible from the side more clearly than you have ever seen it. Perishing of years is awake, says the gentlest figure, in the crocodile mask. Let's see. All the denizens of Visage are walking towards the ear together. There is a place in the positions which belong by right to the wearer of your mask. Fall in line with the others? How else will you discover what lies within? Or strip off your mask and prepare to depart. With everyone distracted by this festival, your departure would not even be noticed. I'm curious. Let's go along, follow the line. We don't have a flare. No, we can't do that one, so let's just fall in line. Among your own. You go as though you were truly one of them. You carry nothing with you but your mask and your costume. May your heart be as light as a feather, says the woman in the lotus blossom mask, as you fall in line behind her. Inside the hollow of the ear. The road you follow leads up through the switchbacks along the side of the face, and finally to the ear of flourishing of years, and into the cave that is her ear. The tunnel bends back on itself, and all lights have now been extinguished. There is nothing to guide you but the hands of the person behind you on your back, and the movement of the person in front of you. The one who walks beside you wears a bat mask. Fortunately, the floor of the tunnel is very smooth and presents no stumbling blocks. Sound carries strangely in this place, however. Sometimes you cannot hear your own footsteps, and sometimes a breath comes back to you, audible from someplace ahead in line. Try to run? Or continue? There is a secret in the dark. This could very well end with our death, but I'm very curious. In line. The footsteps of the people are steady and synchronized, and you go together. For how many years has this been done, and for how many will it be done in the future? Watch your step here, says Pat Mask to you in an under voice. His accent is the accent of Wolfstack docks. Floor is about to get squishier. Sure enough, it does. Ritual participant taking light into the dark place, empty-handed and brave. At last, deep within, the tunnel opens out. You and all the other congregants spread out in a cavernous space. A voice speaks in the darkness, a ritual preparation. Here at the new year, we gather under the one mask of flourishing of years. Her face is turned to the gods. Protected by her mask, we may remove our own. Protected by her script, we may speak outside our parts. Here and there is the sound of people fumbling with ties and strings. Your own face feels different with the mask off. Wait and listen. There are things here to learn, perhaps to your advantage. Receive the confidence of a stranger as holy. Those who come as spectators may remain as participants. Tell one of your own secrets or fight the urge to giggle. We're not going to do this one, I don't think. Might probably end poorly. I'm not entirely sure what this even means. I suppose we're going to wait and listen? Not much for blackmail. You move stealthily through the dark, hearing one knot of conversation and then another. The secrets exchanged do not offer much leverage. You can't see the owners of the secrets. Here and there you catch the smallest fragment of something that might serve you on a future occasion. the memory of a voyage east, a half-rumor about the Carnelian coast, a muttering about the Admiralty. We gain 100 fragments. Let's continue. The hour of confidence is drawing to its end. If there's anything else you need to do, now is the time. Do nothing. Let the ceremony end according to the proper rites. Last bell. At the end of the hour, there comes a woman with a feather of shimmering silver, which she tucks into your hand, symbol of the innocent heart that will not be eaten by the jackal. Then, a bell rings, and the time of speech is over. You all begin to put your masks back on. It is possible, you cannot know for sure, that in this cover someone has exchanged a mask with someone else. It is an orderly and perfect line that emerges again from the ear of flourishing of years. If anyone watches from above, they must surely be satisfied. Respecter of the sacred mysteries. You now have a captivating treasure, and we gain a secret. Just 6 of those. Captivating treasure, you look away eventually. If you made an ironclad will, you can convert these into heirlooms for your successor. Cool. Okay. Goran Visage. On the lower slopes. We've already read that. We know where we need to go for our next mission. So let's finally end our performance and leave the island. You can't stay in character forever. Palmer. When the other citizens are distracted, you find your way to the familiar customs house and rid yourself of mask and robe. There is satisfaction in laying aside a role well performed. Your visage, your mask, quality has gone, and you've lost 10 terror. And with that, let's pull out of here and take a look at the map. So, we made our way all the way down here. We did not travel far. And we're done our part in Visage. That was an interesting story piece. And it did get us closer to finding our father's bones. We might be able to return here and do more someday. But now we travel to Fathom King, which we were told is either in the south or central part of the Unterzee. We're also doing pretty poorly on supplies right now, and fuel slowly creeping down. So, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do here? I think we're gonna swing down around like this, and then start heading back towards Fallen London. If we find another island, we'll probably stop there and continue on next time. Or maybe we'll head down a little bit further south, and then we'll start swinging around. Make like a shape like that, I suppose. I gotta readjust in my chair. Hunger is slowly creeping down, a little worryingly. Let's send out the Z-Bats. Oh. Apparently that wasn't necessary. Isle of Cats is some distance to the southeast. Oh yeah, this is the Isle of Cats, apparently. Let's pull into port, not court. Ugh. And see what happens. Whoa, that's a big fish. Hopefully it hasn't noticed us. Dock up. Again, there we go. Apparently forgot that I can't dock up while we're paused. But anyway, the Isle of Cats, where there are roses. Port Cavendish. A scatter of yellow-lit honey dens and brightly painted alehouses. To the southeast rises the stone tower of Cavendish Abbey, its ramparts hung with crimson and gold banners. There are sailors from all across the Neath hauling cargo, dicing and brawling good-naturedly on the docks. Air carries the sound of sea-shanties, sung with more enthusiasm than skill, and the smell of roses edged with brimstone. You can have a piratical welcome. Welcome to the Isle of Cats. The wide-eyed dockmaster says brightly, "Would you like to bribe me not to write down your details in this nice official ledger?" Unlocked with no more than 0, a key to the cage garden. Unlocked with notice more than 0, Pirate King's notice no more than 0, and unlocked with echo. We could not sell sunlight or buy a shipment of red honey because we have neither of those. Or we don't have a cage gardens key, or yeah, we don't have that one. So we couldn't buy red honey. But we would need it. The stories await you anyways. Anyways, let's pile up port reports. Though the Isle seems at present beyond the reach of the Admiralty's laws, that does not mean the Admiralty lacks interest in their activities. Roses and kings. You spend half a day observing the docks, a note an astonishing number and variety of ships. Was that a connate trimaran nestled beside a vessel from the Iron Republic? The dockhands complain loudly that they have never been busier. The caddies talk ceaselessly and carelessly about smuggling and piracy, but even the most hardened sailors lower their voices when they mention the king. They go even quieter when they talk about the rose garden. You make careful notes. Perhaps the Admiralty will understand what they mean, even if you don't. And I suppose, let's do this. You hand over the coins, and she tips you a sharp smile before waving you to the nearest alehouse. The entire process is straightforwardly corrupt and pleasingly efficient. We gain a suspicion for 5 echo. But we enter the Rose and Tiger. The alehouse's sign as a tiger painted the color of rose petals. Someone has gone to great trouble and expense to gild the creature's eyes. They look out over the port, feral and unseeing. A caged hive of lamplighter bees hangs from the ceiling like a chandelier. A few sailors give you hard-mouthed, assessing looks, but most ignore your presence completely. Significant tokens, the caddies all wear a pair of amber stones threaded around their necks or pinned to their collars. Clandestine doings. A whispered conversation, the clink of coins, an exchange of goods. A religious observance. Is that a crimson-veiled nun? But what sort of nun would be in a place like this? And leave the alehouse. There must be more to the Isle of Cats than drunken sots and Z-stories. Make sure you've learned all you wish to before you leave this place. So I guess we'll go in order. Significant tokens. Cat's eyes, one of them says. For the Pirate King. As far as you can gather, the Pirate King's name is Leopold, and he controls all the trade on the island. Half of the caddies believe that he can take the form of a crimson tiger and creep into their dreams. The other half suspects, more prosaically, that he simply eats those who displease him. Wow, that's lovely. Clandestine doings. The merest taste. You turn your head as though you are admiring one of the moldering draperies hung from the wall. A vial flashes in the buyer's trembling hands. He uncorks it, pours a few drops of thick red liquid down his throat. The vial drops to the floor. When you look back up, he is gone. You blink and look around. Nobody else seems in the least perturbed that a man disappeared from their midst. You pick up the fallen vial and examine the traces left inside. Sticky honey, gleaming with the redness, entirely unlike blood. That's like that crimson honey stuff we're talking about. It's some, like, dangerous drug, apparently, I think. And religious observances. A maleferous sister, of course, she responds, performing a complicated negotiation between veil, thick glove, and a glass of mushroom wine. You ask what one of those is, and she snorts. I'm glaring at you underneath this bloomin' veil. You act appropriately cowed, and the maleferous sister thaws a little. We are beekeepers and honey harvesters. The caddies owe their prosperity to us, and the Pirate King, too. She slurps the last of the mushroom wine behind her veil, and the barkeep glides over to refill her glass, eyes respectfully downcast. I guess we get to leave the alehouse with a little bit of stories about the Pirate King. Laws. of the land. The barkeep stops you before you reach the door and hands you a brooch set with 2 amber stones. He waits impassively until you pin it to your clothes. Everybody wears the cat's eyes here, he tells you, moving aside to let you pass. Just a friendly reminder that the Pirate King is watching. It seems that no place, then, is truly lawless. An occurrence your Isle of Cats, the Pirate King's notice quality is now 1. You are almost entirely beneath his notice. Okay, so we got a couple more options here. The Honey de Tongue and the Cavendish Abbey. You know what? I think we're gonna call it here. We are going about for a little while. I think we'll finish up the stories of Port Cavendish on the Isle of Cats next time. This episode, we traveled very short distance. We visited 2 new islands and only got through all of the story of one of them. But hey, that island had a lot of story going for it. So anyways, I want to thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed as much as I have. We learned where we need to go for our main mission, but we've only made a bit of progress on that right now. But hey, I hope to see you next time. Take care, everyone.